Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and this is the daily scan for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2014. Okay, yesterday's announcements are pretty much in line. PMI missed by a tad. ISM was better by a tad, so there was really nothing upsetting to the market in those announcements. Today we have motor vehicle sales sometime, we don't know when, and construction spending at 10 a.m. I would imagine this may even be out now. I'm not sure. No, it doesn't have an R after it. So if it has an R here or in there like this R, that means that there is a report. The C means, what does the C mean? The C means consensus info available. Alright, if you look at it that way, that makes sense, I guess, doesn't it? Alright, let's take a look across the ponds in Asia. Pretty much bullish across the board, and look at Shanghai. Wow, that's a big move for an index. And in Europe, bullish across the board there too. Nicely bullish, I guess you could say. So, what do we got for headlines? I didn't really even take a look at this. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Still the US dollar, still looks like the strongest thing going out there right now. Even if IS or ISIS or ISIL or whatever it comes out with their own currency, I think the dollar's still going to be stronger. And this, I have to read this. I heard something about this yesterday, and I need to read up on it. And I like to read that one too. So, read what you want, but there's some things that I'm interested in out there that I'm going to have to take a look at later. Alright, let's jump over and take a look at the futures here. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a positive opening. At least that's what it looks like right now. Gold got smacked down good overnight. And it's over here. Didn't really get smacked down all that good, but it sure had a nice day yesterday. And where are we looking at here with oils? We lost 93 cents overnight, just a tad, about at midpoint of yesterday. We'll see how that plays out. This is just kind of a war going on over the price of oil. Makes me a little bit nervous. Dollar gained some strength. Yesterday I looked at the euro-US dollar pair, and it was at 124.9. Now it's at 124.3. And I think that's pretty much all I am interested in there. Didn't do anything yesterday from a scan standpoint, even though we did have one H alert set up on 20 Delta. I didn't do anything. The big one was Costco, and I'll explain why I didn't get in on Costco when we get down to it. So let's take a look at Apple and jump over here to, oh, wait a minute. You know what I didn't do yesterday? I did not do the results for the month of November, and here they are. In November we had 8 winners and 4 losers, which brings our total year-to-date to 92 and 66. And, this is November. So the profit and loss for November, you know how cut and paste can mess you up, is $909. This trade up here, the only one, was that Netflix that I lucked out on that I mentioned yesterday. So, I was pretty happy with that, and it helped me get up to at least 2 to 1 winners to losers. so that always helps. This one is like 3-to-1, I think, just banging that out in my head. So that one, October was good too. So we like it when we have more winners than losers. Usually that means we're making pretty good money when that happens. All right. So the results are up on the blog. I did mention it in my text when I posted the video yesterday, but I did not bring it up in the video itself. Okay, so the copy that you would have downloaded, whoa, look at this, that you would have downloaded has that, if you downloaded it, has that October deal in there, not the November, which is what it really was for the monthly summary. Alrighty, so taking a look at Apple. What happened yesterday to Apple? I might have to read that article. A lot of shares traded hands here. This our volume, top of the volume's right here. Don't really have a number for that volume, which is kind of a problem. You don't really have a graphical thing here for the volume when you superimpose it on the chart. You just have a relativity kind of a deal. Yeah, it was pretty high. Of course, it was pretty low on Friday, which we only had a half a day. So, I don't know what happened here early in the morning. Guess it basically doesn't matter. There was something going on. Must have to do with sales, Cyber Monday, I don't know, something like that. But the good thing is, although we do have a little bit of a violation here, because remember we like to get above this 80 line here before we turn back down again, and here we had a hiccup. Don't know if it's going to remain valid in my view or not. It really shouldn't, but you know, this is a really nice strong uptrend. Hopefully this day doesn't hose it up too bad. We'll just keep an eye on it because it's not ready for prime time yet. Amazon, same thing. Same thing. Actually, Costco, same thing. As I was looking at it yesterday, we had an alert on Amazon looking for a 20 delta. No go. So now this is 20 delta. I don't know that it's still valid for a 50 delta. It would be a 20 delta probably. When it gets down there, we'll take a look at it and see how we feel about it. Boeing, same thing. We are in setup now for Boeing. And this actually is picture perfect. Very strong. I like to have it, you know, up and down like that, but this is pretty strong uptrend. This might be just a minor correction here, and then hopefully we can jump in on this. Alright, Baba, you know, we're just going to stay away from it for a while, let it establish itself, and we'll just keep an eye on it from that perspective. Baidu. Must have been looking back on Baidu. Alright, Baidu. I'm not sure what Baidu's doing here. I think we're in a downtrend most definitely, so we're going to throw a 50 delta target in up here. And we'll work from there. Keep an eye on that one. Next up is Chipotle. Don't know what Chipotle's doing, so we're just going to stay away from that. Costco. Costco. Okay, so here's the story on Costco. This was the day to get in according to the stochastic and the MACD. We have a hookup after a nice solid line down. A hookup on both the stochastic and the MACD. But when we go back and look at the actual day, what we're shooting for is we want it to move above the previous high. I could have gotten in anyway. I mean, that's just one qualification or one confirmation that we would have missed. Now, it's entirely possible during this first hour could have gotten in, but when I came and took a look at it, it had pulled back down below. I'd like it to stay above. So I stayed out. Okay, so you say, but it still would have been a winner. Well, yes, it still would have. But, that's the big three criteria for getting in, is move above the previous day's high and stay above it, and stochastic hooking up and MACD hooking up. Didn't hit all three, so I stayed out. And this being a shortened week didn't help either. Although looking at Friday, it would have been a pretty good winner. And I probably would not have been as nervous as I was with Netflix. So that's the little short history on Costco. So now we have to basically start over again. So we move this back down over here and see if it's going to come back down and give us another entry, which it just might do. It might only hook above the 70 line and not quite make it up to the 80. We'll see what it does today. Take a look at the Dow. And I would have to say that, okay, let's just click on this little eye here and see. Volume is hidden. Okay, don't notify me again. Alright? And the same thing on this chart. Don't notify me again. Alright, I didn't really don't notify me again. Alright. And the same thing on this one. Don't notify me again. So that we'll stop doing that on this particular chart. Definitely some resistance up here. As I mentioned the other day, we had some resistance down here at 175 or 76 or so, and then looks like we're hitting it up here at 178. So it's having a pretty hard time. And it looks, from a weekly perspective, like it's rolling over. So we're just going to have to see how that works out. Alright, we had a nice move on gold, which is going to give some of that up this morning, I suspect. Google didn't quite give us our entry. Could have done a 20 delta, but with everything that the shortened week last week, coulda, woulda, shoulda, there might be a lot of stuff as I look at it now, but keeping in mind it was a weird week as far as access to the markets was concerned, so it's probably an overall good thing to just step back and wait for more, how could I put it, like consistent trading times, more traditional, I don't know, but I think it's safest to just kind of stay out. So now we're looking for another opportunity coming up in a week or so, I suspect. See if it works itself out or not. We want to make sure. We just want to be a little bit more sure. LinkedIn. This is alertable here. So we're going to throw an alert on this one. At or below. I don't really see it that well. Let's put it right here. Okay. Alright, we're looking for an alert on that. I still had company yesterday and didn't really have a chance to come here and take a look at what was truly going on. I was mostly focused on Costco anyway, just because the alert went off and then it did nothing but back up from that. So Yeah, we have an alert on this puppy. And moving right along. NDX. Yes, NDX. Is it going to give us an entry, or are we going to have a trend reversal maybe? I don't know. Looks pretty good today though. We're good for a 20 delta here. This actually just barely qualifies. I mean, it might be a tad of a stretch, but we're at 52.14 here. We want to get below 50. But I'm taking it. So this is a 20 delta, provided we get some sort of movement back up, and I think we probably will today. So I'm going to pick something in the middle of yesterday's range for an alert. That looks pretty good to me. At or above. There we go. That's good enough. Make it work a little bit from yesterday's close. Maybe we'll be able to put some trades on today. That would be nice. Alright, Netflix. Wow. Netflix is not looking too good right now, is it? Alright, we got, this one was successful here, so we're going to remove. Okay, wow, it's sinking and sinking fast. But we don't have a place to enter at this point. Priceline, I don't know what Priceline is doing. I'm just going to stay away from it. Would you do a directional trade with prices doing this? Not me. Good idea to stay out. Okay, the Russell. Not sure what the Russell's doing. I'm taking this off of here. I'm not sure what it's doing. I'm sure we're going to get a bounce today, but it's a little bit too pricey consolidating to me. SPX. Alright. This is, although looks similar to the Russell, it is in a slightly more of an uptrend. I want to put it down. We're just throw an alert here about midway for a 20 delta. At or above, that's what we're looking for, and we'll see what happens today. And moving on to Tesla. Wow, very bad day yesterday for Tesla. We're looking for a 50 up here now. We are definitely in a downtrend here. And it's nice looking waves on the stochastic. That I like. And last but not least, or it might be least, I have no idea, is Visa. Sort of a weak uptrend. We're looking down here, and we'll see what happens when it gets down there, but looking pretty weak here. So we can still get our waves in here, even though price is consolidating. That's why it's important to look for that beating out the previous day's high and in a nice strong uptrend before you get in. This is not a very strong uptrend. We're getting a lot of price consolidation here, a breakout, and a weak, kind of a weak run here in many respects. But it looks a little bit different if you get rid of these lower prices here on the chart, and then it rescales itself. And it looks a little bit more impressive, but it's still pretty early in this run-up. So we'll take a look at it, when it gets down here, whether it still looks promising or not. Okay, so that is it for today. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and happy trading.